What up, people? What up? It's me, L Teddy 27. Y'all know what it is. It is week 8 of our NFL fantasy season. I'm a little late this morning. I know. I don't even know if this bow tie, and shirt combination is gonna work, but we gonna make it do what it do this week. Y'all just gonna have to pick at me in the comment section. Anyway, but I'm glad I'm a little late this morning because I found out one of my picks is not going to be starting this week. And I can tell you who that is now since he ain't starting, so it don't matter. I wanted to go with Teddy Bridgewater was one of my picks this week, but I've learned that I believe they're going to go ahead and start Drew Brees, which is stupid. Now, what happens if Drew Brees goes out there and loses the game? This is just so stupid, New Orleans. Sean Payton, I guess that's why they pay you all the money to make those decisions, but I just really don't think that's a good decision. I don't even think this was a good decision with this tie and this shirt combination, but be that as it may, we are here. All right, y'all. So, let's get down to it. So, with that being said, here are our quarterbacks for this week. Our quarterback picks for this week are going to be, these people should give you good quality points this week. So we have Matt Stafford of the Detroit Lions at home versus the New York Giants. And we have Jared Goff of the Rams at home versus Cincinnati. Look at those matchups, okay? Not a hard decision. We are going, I figure Matt Stafford to give you 20 plus points. I figure Jared Goff to give you 20 plus points. Just like if you remember last week, ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all, who did I pick and I said would have 20 plus points last week? It was, I'll tell you right now. Last week it was Josh Allen. And Josh Allen got you, I think it was 20 or 21 points last week. So look for Matt Stafford and Jared Goff to give you the same thing, 20 plus points this week. Our sleepers, we got 2 sleepers, and I got 2 sleepers for every position this week just to help out with the waiver wire. Not a lot of teams on the bye week this week, but I got 2 sleepers for every position. So this week, my 2 sleepers are Ryan Tannehill of Tennessee at home versus Tampa Bay. We know Marcus Mariota is not going to be in. He's not going to start this week. I believe he's hurt. And then we have Mason Rudolph of Pittsburgh at home versus Miami. It's Miami. And even though Mason Rudolph isn't, a must start, anybody's a must start versus Miami. So Mason Rudolph of the Pittsburgh Steelers at home versus Miami. Ryan Tannehill of the Tennessee Titans at home versus Tampa Bay. I like both of them as sleepers. Definitely if you're doing your daily fantasy football, these are cheap picks that you can do. And then use your money elsewhere with other positions. For our tight ends this week, I like Darren Hooper of the Atlanta Falcons at home versus Seattle, and I like Darren Waller of the Oakland Raiders at Houston. We all know the 2 teams that are awful versus tight ends are Arizona and Seattle. So I like Austin Hooper to do well this week, and I like Darren Waller. Austin Hooper at home versus Seattle and Darren Waller at Houston. Houston's defense has basically fallen off the cliff. They're not here for it anymore. They give up a lot of points now. I told y'all that last week. You see what I told y'all that last week. You see what Jacoby Brissett did last week. Or was that week before? Anyway, but I did tell you all about Houston's defense. Our sleepers for our tight ends are going to be Darren Fells of Houston, of the Houston Texans. Speaking of the Houston Texans, Darren Fells at home versus Oakland. Y'all know Oakland, I don't think they ever had a defense, but whatever. And then I like Hunter Henry of the Chargers at Chicago. Chicago gives up points against tight ends as well. And I like Hunter Henry of the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly the San Diego Chargers, at Chicago. For our running backs this week, I like Todd Gurley of the Rams at home versus Cincinnati. It's Cincinnati. Need I say more? I like Marlon Mack of the Indianapolis Colts at home versus Denver. Marlon Mack kind of got off last week, even though it was Jacoby Brissett's, stellar performance last week. I figure that Denver is going to try to stop Jacoby Brissett from having another week like that, which means that you'll get heavy doses of Marlon Mack on that Indianapolis Colts offense this week. And then I like Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers at Kansas City. Kansas City. It's Kansas City. Y'all know how I always say, their defense does well the first half. Give them until, middle of the third quarter. And then the defense, can't stop a nosebleed. They were at Kansas City. So Green Bay will be at Kansas City in Arrowhead. So I like Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. Our sleepers this week for our running backs are going to be Ty Johnson of the Detroit Lions. We know that Kerryon Johnson is hurt. Ty Johnson is slated to pick up those touches that would have gone to Kerryon Johnson. I like him at home against the New York Giants. It's the Giants. And I also like Tevin Coleman of my beloved San Francisco 49ers at home versus the Carolina Panthers. Even though Matt Breida is the named starter, Tevin Coleman gets quite a few touches, takes quite a few touches from Matt Breida. And so if you're looking for a sleeper, pick up Tevin Coleman this week of my beloved 49ers, San Francisco 49ers. And they'll be at home against Carolina. For our defense, our receivers this week, all of our receivers this week are not people who are not the low-hanging fruit. These are not people who you say, oh, I know to start him, so you don't need to tell me that, L Teddy 27. These are people who I'm going to try to help you with make some hard decisions. So I like DJ Chark of the Jacksonville Jaguars at home versus the New York Jets. I like Golden Tate of the New York Giants at Detroit. And I like Corey Davis of the Tennessee Titans at home versus Tampa Bay. All three of them I like. I'm big on them this week. Pick them. They should give you double-digit fantasy points this week. I also like both of them in PPR leagues. All three of them, I should say, in PPR leagues. For our sleepers at receivers this week, I like Deshaun Hamilton of Denver. Now, I know people are going to go with Sutton. Now that Emmanuel Sanders is gone, people are going to be going for Sutton. Is it Cortland Sutton? I think it is Cortland Sutton in Denver. But I think defenses will target Sutton as well, which means that I like Deshaun Hamilton to perhaps in a deep sleeper. If you're looking for a deep sleeper, get you anywhere from 8 to 12 points this week. He might score, and anytime you can get a receiver or a running back sleeper to score, that's good. So you might want to use him for a flex this week. I also like Kenny Stills this week of the Houston Texans. They'll be at home versus Oakland. Will Fuller is out. DeAndre Hopkins is going to do what he does, but I like Kenny Stills to get some good touches this week as a sleeper pick for wide receiver or as a flex. All right. And now for our favorite segment of the week, which is L Teddy 27's Hotties. Hotties. I was looking for my whiteboard. So our first hottie of the week is a real cutie. We just mentioned him. He's not one of our picks, but we did just mention him. And y'all know what I tell y'all. Go type in their name and then type shirtless afterward and get your life. Emmanuel Sanders, wide receiver, who is now on my beloved San Francisco 49ers team. Look him up and get your life. He's very easy on the eyes. A nice piece of milk chocolate. Not light bright, not a dark chocolate, but a nice milk chocolate. Yes. Emmanuel Sanders. Our second fantasy fantasy of the week is going to be now for this person's name, you're definitely going to have to type NFL because he has a common name. Okay, so I would type. This is what I would type in my Google image search. Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints. He has a common name. So you want to type Michael Thomas, and then maybe you want to type NFL and then put shirtless afterwards. He's just okay in the face, but his body is nice. He's another piece of milk chocolate. Not a light bright, not some dark chocolate, but a nice piece of milk chocolate. So we got the milk chocolate going on this week, y'all, for our fantasies and our hotties. Our fantasies. And that's all we got this week for y'all. Let me know, y'all. Send me a little something if you get broke off something from my picks now. Anyway, that's it for this week, y'all. We'll be back next week for week 9, the middle of the season. That's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Until next week, y'all drive safely.